talking about esports, electronic sports. I don't know if that's what esports actually said, but that makes sense, right? It's kind of like IGN, like internet gaming news. Like that's what it reminds me of, but then it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't even mean that. It means imagine.
It doesn't mean anything now. It's just IGN.
Oh, it doesn't stand for the what?
Not like we're like trashing IGN. I'm just saying, like I have no idea what IGN stands for anymore.
I thought it used to stand for, it originally stand for like Imagine Game Network or something like that. Yeah, something like just that you wouldn't picture. Being, you know.
But it doesn't stand for anything anymore.
I haven't been on that website in years.
IGN? Yeah, I go there every once in a while.
But
I'm just joking. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about esports. Specifically, there was some news that happened actually earlier this year. This topic's been kind of in my back pocket, so I'm gonna give you guys some information. You guys here, and then you guys can kind of just top on with it.
Esports that I'll just cut in real quick with my take on esports.
What esports you enjoy watching?
The only esports that I really, because I used to be really into Smite. Okay. I mean, you knew that we played it together. We played it together, but you knew that I played it way more than you did.
There's a lot more money that was spent on your end than mine.
Oh, I spent $90 just
on a free game.
No, I've spent more than that total. I spent $90 just to get Aphrodite's witch skin.
How much money did you spend on League of Legends when you were playing League? Do you think you spent that much?
More than $90.
Oh, really? You spent way more than that?
No, I've probably spent at least between $250 and $300 on Smite on boxes and skins and things like that.
Because they didn't have the new loot system that they have incorporated in League of Legends, where you can earn essence and unlock skins and champions for free, pretty much.
Yeah, because
now you can do that.
Yeah, now you can do
that.
So
it's now actual free to play.
Well, like you can. If you take the time, you can pretty much earn all these things. Although it's random because it's like drop rates and stuff like that.
Because
is it like Overwatch now?
No, not like that. Not like that. Okay. It's like you get shards, and if you get a certain amount of shards, you can turn it into like essence or something like that, and then you convert the essence into like some.
Needless to say, you don't play League of Legends.
I haven't played in probably a year or so.
But yeah.
There's something wrong with this mic. But go ahead.
And then during that time, because I haven't played Smite in a long time, like since this is basically Overwatch came out. I haven't played it since Overwatch came out, and but
it took your mindless game.
Yeah, and basically, but back then as I would play my games, I would listen to the Smite World Championships.
You bought the season we all bought season tickets.
Yeah, we bought the season ticket. We were all placing, doing the whole little not bet thing, but predict the winners of the games. And
the game has an who do you think will win?
Yeah, every week you could go into each week and you would see who's playing who, and you could be like, well, I think this team's gonna win, and if you guess
purely just guessing.
Well, I mean, if you follow the matches, you would know, like you would have a better idea. It would be a more educated guess, and if you guess the right team, you would get points, and those points then you would accumulate, and when you would hit certain numbers, you would unlock things like voice, announcer packs and special skins and loot boxes and things like that. And so for during the Smite World Championships, I think it was 2016 World Championships, I was really into that. That's pretty much been the only esport that I ever followed for any period of time. I personally have a hard time getting into it. Primarily because I never know when it's on, or what game it is.
It seems like it's always on.
Yeah, it seems like there's
like always something.
So if I go on Twitch right now, there's probably some tournament over in Asia going on somewhere. Yeah. That's usually what it is.
Yeah.
But like if there was like a set schedule and all that, and it was easy for me to follow, like if because Smite had all of that in their games, like menu screens and stuff like that, so it was easy for me to follow. Where if like Overwatch did that, where they said, hey, these matches are happening,
we'll get into that
at this time, because I know Overwatch is trying to do its esport thing. But if I knew when they were on and where I could watch them, I probably would at least have them on in the background and listen to them while I played a game, like I did with Smite, or while I did chores, cleaned up the apartment, that kind of thing. But they don't have that kind of system in the game, and I'm not the one to kind of go out to look for it. So if they brought up a thing like a little menu system where like, hey, this is the schedule for the season, I would probably check it out and I would probably tune in.
What about you, Quinn? What is your experience with esports? Did you watch League of Legends when it was on esports? When you were playing League or
back in my senior year of class when I
way back in the senior year,
quite a few years ago, 20 years to be exact.
Oh yeah. You were 2 when you were in high school, or you were what? No, are you even 20?
I'd be -1.
Wow. Okay.
When I graduated high school. Anyway, there was this one kid that I would sit with. I don't really want to talk about him.
Okay.
Needless to say.
He would watch like random league pro like TSM versus whatever, because he really liked TSM, which is Team Solo Mid. Everybody who plays League knows pretty much who TSM is.
Oh, they have a Smite team.
Yeah, I think they have just all MOBA teams.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Team Solo Mid.
Yeah.
So.
And so I'd watch it in class with him, and I'd be like,
nerd.
No, I'd be like, no, there'd be some really cool stuff that would happen, but I'd just be like,
thank you for.
I'm old enough to get that reference.
But yeah, you watched him play. I mean, you watched him watch him.
Well, he would sit in front of me and we'd watch it together, and we didn't really do anything in the class because the teacher was just like, do your work, and if you do your work good.
I had a teacher like that. The teacher was literally like, this is our criteria. You can do whatever you want as long as you don't bother the people around you. That was pretty much it.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, continue.
And like Street Fighter 5 and Smash, although I never really considered those games.
Do they do that for like Evo?
Like Evo and stuff like that. And I never really considered those games like esports until, I guess, because the term is, I would say, fairly recent.
Yeah, because a lot of people call it MLG.
Yeah,
and then the new term now is esports. But there are 2 different associations, I guess. Mm-hmm. There's the Esports Association, and then there's MLG, which is just Major League Gaming, which is still around. It's just, which I actually got some of this stuff from. But yeah.
But those were the only games that I really watched. I just never considered them like, of course, sports. I was just like, these guys play video games very well, pretty much. Like, they go to tournaments. That's how I would always say it. But ever since, like, what's it called? What's that sports channel? I don't follow sports.
ESPN?
Yeah, ESPN2.
Yeah, you know that one that's been around for a little bit.
Ever since ESPN2 or whatever started, like, they advertise a lot for like Street Fighter 5 tournaments and stuff like that. Like, I was sitting in Buffalo Wild Wings, and then they were like, catch, and it's really weird seeing like Snake Eyes and stuff like this, like really big Street Fighter 5 players like that I know from just like daily vlog videos and stuff. They're like normal dudes being like advertised as these like high end sort of like sports stars, because it's really weird because they paint them in a completely different light. Because
they're trying to aim for an audience that would normally not watch. Well, because like a little while ago, about a year, maybe 2 years ago, Activision signed a big deal with ESPN, and Activision, known for buying Blizzard, and so now you'll see Heroes of the Dorm, which is I think a ingenious idea for the game. You know what Heroes of the Dorm does? So
isn't that where they do the little campus tournament?
So they do campus tournaments, and then they come in, and then those people represent that school, and then the winning team gets their tuition paid for the rest of their college career. I think either a whole year or their college career, but either way, that's awesome. Like they just take a whole semester off, and then they just go play this game, and then they come back, and then they're like, "Yep, I got it all paid for, and you're good to go."
So cool.
But really cool. I think Blizzard came up with that first, and then ESPN started doing Heroes of the Dorm.
I'm pretty sure Blizzard would probably push that over Activision.
Yeah, probably. But yeah,
let's be honest here.
Yeah. But yeah, so like ESPN has done that with them, and so that's why you'll see on ESPN2 like Evo was actually on there, which was really crazy to see, because I was like, I don't know why this is even on there, because they were doing Street Fighter, and Street Fighter is not owned by either one of those companies. But yeah, I actually watched it with my dad, which was really weird too. But yeah, my first kind of look into esports, I actually have been to a League of Legends esports thing, the North American regionals. It used to be here in Seattle when PAX was going on. Thank God it does not happen there anymore. And I don't say that in saying that esports is terrible or League of Legends is terrible or Riot is. It's more of, those were robbing tickets from people that, like, those are literally people buying those tickets just to see that.
Oh,
and
people buying
warm bodies.
People are buying PAX tickets to go
just to see that,
League of Legends.
You had to get a PAX ticket to go in and watch League of Legends. So they don't do that anymore, and now I think League is not even in Washington anymore. But I think somewhere around the same time is Dota, and they do that at Key Arena, which is pretty cool.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I think esports has kind of grown, and being there is really cool. It's this. I didn't know very much about League of Legends when I was there at the North American Regionals, but it was really cool to see, like, these people are as passionate as people that go to football games, or as passionate as people that go to basketball or baseball games. It's the fans. These are fans that love what is happening, and it's almost the same thing. Now, I don't know. I think competition-wise, it's the same as sports. Traditional sports, but in the sense of, do you classify it as a sport? I don't know. I'm still on the fence of, like, I can go either way, and I'm also on the thing of, why did we stop calling it MLG? And I get it, it's two different associations, but MLG made more sense than esports. And if we just call it electronic sports, then it's still not all of them, unless everyone's playing Rocket League. Then
electronic
it's not a sport
sports.
game.
Electronic sports to me sounds more like nerdy, and I know they want to have it sound more flashy.
Yeah, I think esports does make it sound a little bit more of like, oh, that's interesting. Even if you didn't know what it was, you'd still look it up. So I went through and got some numbers here. I haven't looked at my notes in a while, but I'm gonna. So these are the top games awarding by prize money, and so we're gonna go from 5. These are the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
This is from esportsearnings.com, so pretty official website, because I also looked at a few other websites and they were pretty much the same numbers. At number 5 is Counter-Strike. Not really a shock. None of these games will shock you that they're up here.
Right. Yeah.
And so this is, the tournament happens, the major thing. These are worlds happen. Top 2 in the world teams come in, play the game, they win this prize money. 10,770,000. Yeah, is that 10? Yes, it is. Okay, $10,771,935.77 was given to the winner. 10 million, almost $11 million.
I don't think that much. I don't think that much amount of money was given to the people for winning. I think that's probably how much prize money they gave out in their
that is the top
league.
That's what they got. That's the winner.
Okay.
Got that number.
All right.
Yeah, because I looked at, when I got to Dota, I had to make sure.
But this is split amongst a team, right?
Yeah. Okay. So Counter-Strike, maybe has like 6 players, maybe.
It
seems like
I've
a shooter number.
So.
Yeah, and that's the first Counter-Strike. That's
only there's 4 or 5. I think there's 5.
Yeah, and that's just Counter-Strike. That's not CS:GO. That's Counter-Strike.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
So at number 4, StarCraft 2. That game is years old. Years old. Expansions have come out. 3 of them, I think, at this point, and I think they're done making stuff for it. $21,845,465.64 was given to that group.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of money for $21 million. CS:GO with $30 million. I'm just gonna go with the end numbers.
Yeah.
$30 million.
30.2.
Yeah, 3.2. Yeah, 30.2. At number 2, no shock here, was League of Legends with $37 million, $37.2 million. And then at number 1 was Dota 2 with $95 million given out.
Wow.
I didn't even know Dota was like that big of a thing to beat League of Legends that badly. Because when I was at PAX, League of Legends looks like it's the bigger game that everyone plays. But I guess Dota 2 is still that.
One thing that you have to take into consideration with the 2 though is League of Legends is free to play, and I don't believe Dota 2 is.
I thought it was free to play.
It's free. It's
yeah.
Steam's.
It's free to play. Yeah, it's just Valve's version of it.
Well, no, I thought that you had to.
I've played it.
Okay, all right. I
wouldn't
that
pay
one
money
you had
for
to,
a MOBA. So.
I thought that one you had to actually buy it.
I think the first one you had to buy.
The first one,
Dota.
Yeah. The original Dota was a mod.
Yes, of World of Warcraft.
Of Warcraft 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, not a lot of people know that. And then at number 6 with Hearthstone, I just wanted to pick a few games out here that people might know as well. Hearthstone had 7 million, a little over 7 million. Smite was at number 9 with a little over 6 million. Halo 5 was at number 12 with about $3 million. Overwatch is at 18, which is shocking because that game has not been out for a year, and it's already at over $2 million.
It'll be a year this month.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
It came out.
So I
May
guess
20th.
maybe
It came out like May 20th, right? So
that was a weird release date.
It was like May 20th.
Did it really come out? I bought it the day. No, I did not buy day one.
I bought it.
I
had it
day
day
one.
one.
How I was never gonna buy that
and
game.
You said I don't like Overwatch.
Yeah, and then eventually you guys talked me into it.
I'm the only one I believe out of us that play on Xbox. I'm the only one that had it day one.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I talked to you about it.
Yeah, Quinn was like the only person at work that I could talk to about.
I had my jacket like 6 months before the game even came out.
And you had your cup, you had your thing.
I had this shirt before the game came out.
I remember that too.
Alex, when the guys got back from the con, Alex was like, "Well, hope you're happy, David." We all hopped on the Diva train and got a Diva shirt, and I was like, "Well, it took you a convention to have it. I've had my Diva."
That just shows you how faithful they were.
Yeah, and it's like you guys literally just got your first Diva shirt like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, well, I got mine before the game was even released.
Yeah.
You know. This one. This one right here.
And at number 19 was Super Smash Bros. Melee, which
that's the GameCube one, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It's still the most popular, I believe, in terms
because I think a lot of people like the GameCube controller. That's
that and also
I did,
which I have no idea.
I didn't.
You cannot explain that to me in a way that I'm going to understand why the GameCube controller is the best fighting controller.
Really?
It just doesn't make any. I mean, not in the sense of.
Wait, have you played with it before?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to specify. It's not in the sense of like, oh, I think X controller is better. I don't understand why everyone was making a big deal about it when the Wii U had that little brick thing, and everyone was able to play the GameCube controllers again on
that's what everyone did too for Smash 4. They used the GameCube controllers because it has the adapter.
Mm-hmm. And then at number 100 because it was a 100 list, 100. I just wanted to get the number 100 on there.
Yeah.
The lowest one that made the list still was it was Quake World, which was $91,330.16.
All right, guys, we need to hop on that Quake World.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm more curious to see how it's gonna do once they start airing it on TV.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing.
And
there are other leagues looking at this, specifically the NBA, because segue into in next year the NBA will team up. This is from Engadget, so I just want to let you guys know. In 2018, NBA will team up with Take-Two, which are the guys who make
NBA 2K.
Yep, and they
2K
also make
series.
Mafia 3. They also make BioShock. They also make
Take-Two publishes a lot.
Yeah, even GTA.
Yeah, I was gonna say GTA. They own. They're above Rockstar.
Yeah, Rockstar is under the umbrella of Take-Two.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Take-Two owns to own esports. So the NBA will team up with Take-Two. Mm-hmm. To make some esports teams, similar to the way that teams can own or even share development league squads. So there will be like the Seattle Mariners, not because obviously that's a baseball team, but I'm just using this. Seattle Mariners, Tacoma Rainiers. Yeah. Like they will have that sort of tier to it. There will be 8 to 12 initial teams to start, which are less than in the NBA.
Right.
And each one will feature 5 human players, and the plan is to eventually have one of each of the leagues, one representing each of the teams, which are 30, I believe. Quote, each player will participate as a custom-created avatar, end quote, says the CEO of Take-Two. Yeah. So it should be interesting. So they will be a created character. They won't be playing as Steph Curry or they won't be playing as LeBron James. They will be playing as
themselves.
John Smith. Like they are going to be playing as that person. But I'm curious. What do you guys feel about that? Do you think? I think sports will probably like the set sports organizations will take this first. Like if the NBA does this, then possibly the NFL might do it because there's obviously a big Madden thing, and that's usually Xbox sponsors that every year, and they've done that since the Xbox, I believe.
Something like that,
Ever since Xbox, I believe Madden was one of the first games to have Xbox Live compatible with it, along with Halo. So Halo 2.
Well, I know
it was big when Madden was doing it.
Madden you could play online on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah. Because the broadband thing, but I think it was really big with Xbox.
Because that was one of the first games I played online was on the PlayStation 2 because it came when you bought the network adapter. For the PlayStation 2. It came with a little demo disc that had some games that you played.
Madden was on there.
Madden was on there.
Because I think that also started the EA Xbox deal because that was more of. I mean, they've been together for decades at this point. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that if the NBA does this, do you think maybe we might be seeing some, possible professional teams at some point, or maybe a Seattle representative? I mean, obviously we don't have an NBA Seattle team, but will there be everyone's going to, the Seattle Evergreens to go see them play, and this is our esport team?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it'll probably get to that point. I would imagine, though, I think it has to build a TV fan base sort of first. And I think that still is, that's just, I don't think you can really predict that yet. No, it is growing and growing and growing. And I think that's why a lot of these teams the NBA is getting involved in it because it's just going to make money.
Mm-hmm. So. I mean, that's always a good thing. What about you, Quinn? Do you think that the NBA stepping in is a right direction, or are they just doing it too much too soon right now?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't say if they're stepping in too soon or anything, but I think it's actually, from my eyes or whatever, impressive how fast esports has developed, because I watched a documentary on Smash about how the Smash community first got started with Melee. And this was way after Melee came out. It was just a group of guys that would travel across country to country, going to people's small tournaments, and eventually it just caught on and got bigger and bigger.
Isn't that what the Summit does? Like those guys that are on Twitch or something like that?
I have no idea.
Is that about the speedrunners?
Is that what those Summit does? I thought they do pro stuff. Anyway.
But so it just ended up being to the point where they didn't even have to leave or I didn't mean country, I meant state. I don't know why I said country.
Yeah, it's fine.
And so the point where there were tournaments, still a bunch of tournaments in state, and now of course it's so big now that it was weird because at the time that documentary was made, I believe it was 2010 or something. Fast forward to 2016, 2017, and now Mango, Mewtwo King, and all that. It's really weird because they get the esports star treatment now, and they have a bunch of people going well, what did you think of your last match? And stuff like that. And it's so weird seeing how. Because if you watch the tournaments from 2006 or 2007, besides playing on CRT TVs and stuff like that,
they didn't give a crap about those players.
They were just dudes in
huddled in a room next to each other,
dark room, in a garage or something, and you just hear there's no sports coverage, no nothing. It's just dudes going, "Oh my god, dude," and stuff like that, and it's just crazy. It's weird how the evolution of that takes off. So I don't know. I think in terms of time, it's really blown up very fast, a lot faster than I would have expected.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, when Melee and all that came out, I would have never anticipated if you told me I could make money playing a video game, I wouldn't have believed you. That's my dream job as a kid, but I would have never saw it as something that was a viable future for people.
Yeah, because there's I think there's a Vice documentary about esports and how it's big in Korea, and how I believe they were doing StarCraft 2.
I saw that.
Really good documentary. But they talk about. I mean, even I listened also to Rooster Teeth's thing, and they were talking. I believe Gus was talking about how when he was in Korea, he was in South Korea, obviously. He went to a stadium and he was like, "Oh, I thought this was the Esports stadium." And somebody was walking by and went like, "Oh yeah, that's their old stadium. They have a new one on the other side of town." It's like, that's crazy to think this whole stadium was designed for this video game group, and now they have a whole new one because like Team Samsung, I believe, is like a huge team. I don't know what they're called, but I know that the Samsung team is always it's almost in every single tournament that has to do with like StarCraft and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting to see esports grow, and I'm curious to see how ESPN's gonna do it, because I believe that Activision and ESPN deal is really high up there. I think I'm curious to see why there's no Call of Duty stuff going on, but that's interesting.
Because it's Call of Duty.
No, but I mean, like, it's everyone buys Call of Duty. It's that game that you buy. So it's become like Madden. Like, there's people that don't like Madden, but people still buy Madden.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be interesting to see what goes on with that. But I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right.
On to the next segment.
Exactly.